Hello everyone. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a works cited page in conjunction with your research paper. So there are a couple of ways that you can do this, but probably the easiest way is to look at the citations that are already provided on the Opposing Viewpoints articles. So let's take a quick look before we go there and see what is a works cited page supposed to look like. Well, remember, the research paper packet, which is found on Moodle, has everything you could possibly need when it comes to this research paper. But on page 17, we have a sample works cited page. So in the end, your final product is going to look something like this. Notice that at the top, it doesn't say source citations, it doesn't say citations, it says works cited. And we have the last name and the page number. And we've got several entries. Now remember, if you used any of these different sources in your paper, you must cite it. If you only used one quote, if you only used one paraphrase, you must cite it in the works cited page. So you may have more than 4 citations in this works cited page. So one thing to note about the works cited page is that all of your citations are going to be in alphabetical order. B, D, F, H. Remember, it must be in alphabetical order. Do not randomly put your citations on this page. The next thing to notice, which is kind of backwards from what you're used to, is that all of the citations start on the left-hand side of the page, and then once we get to the second line, that is when you indent. And notice how everything is adjusted over to the left, and then every other line is indented 1 indent, so 5 spaces. The entire thing is double spaced. Those are the main things to know about a works cited page. Now, if you're still confused, there is a lot more information in this research paper packet. So on page 16, it tells you about important rules about the works cited page and for the specific types of publications. So just looking at these important rules, it must be in 12-point font, have works cited in the center, your last name and page number at the top. All sources are in alphabetical order, every citation ends with a period, and you must indent 5 spaces on the second line, and the works cited page must contain all the sources in your research paper. Also on page 15, page 15 isn't it? Page 16 reminds you of the different writing expectations for this assignment. So let's go back to NoodleTools, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can do this. Hopefully you've saved some of these citations in your note cards, but if you hadn't, let's look at the Opposing Viewpoints webpage. Say you're using an article about climate change. I hope you all noticed that at the very, very bottom of this article, past all of this information, is a source citation. So you should highlight this information because this is exactly MLA format. So you can cut and paste it to a Word document and simply place it in the proper space on your works cited page. Make sure it's in alphabetical order, make sure it's double spaced, and make sure that it begins on the left-hand side of the paper and then every other line is indented 1 space. So I'm going to just put this here for right now. And it's already done for me. I don't need to figure out what goes first, what goes second, if it's the author's name, and what have you, but it definitely is all there for me. So now I'm just going to double space it and I'm going to indent it until it looks perfect. So this might take a minute because it was in a very tricky spot, but now you can see this is how it is supposed to look on your paper. And I'm going to put works cited at the top and I'll put my page number there. So that's the easiest way to do this. If you're using articles from Opposing Viewpoints, which most of you should, it is all there for you. But what if you're not using an article from Opposing Viewpoints? Well, NoodleTools has a way for you to do this as well. So go to your project, your research paper project, and look at bibliography. And now you're going to build a citation from the information that you do have. So say you're using a book. You just check book, create citation. Now notice there's information for how to cite a database, a magazine, a photo, a website, a reference source like a dictionary or encyclopedia. They're all different ways to cite it, so it's very important to know which source you're using. So if you're not sure if you're using a book, I don't really know how that happens, but if you're not sure if you're using a book, this will show you what it looks like. However, I'm just going to hit this continue button down here to get to the next spot. So I'm going to put the information in. I have the author, and his first name is John, and his last name is Jones. And we don't know any of this other information, so we're going to leave it. But this information is mandatory. The book title is called Climate Change. And I know that the publisher is Random House. And I know it was published in New York. And I guess it's asking for just one word. And I know that the year was 1998. So now I'm going to scroll down. Are there any annotations? Nothing's really necessary. And I'm going to include the source in my final Works Cited page. And I'm going to hit submit. Oops. I guess we've got to fill this part out too. I'm going to put Jones again, just so they know that this is the one author. Hit submit, and let's hope it works this time. And it did. And this is exactly what the citation will look like on my page. The last name first, then the first name, followed by climate change, New York, Random House, 1998, and print. So you've got your citation, and you can do this again and again and again and again in order to make another citation. So now I'll go to database and create the citation for that. And it's going to give you a whole page, and you can just cut and paste your information. So if I just want to cut and paste this or copy it, that's fine as well, and put it on an on a Word document. So you are going to eventually create a page that looks really beautiful. It's going to look just like this, except it's going to be filled with your citations in alphabetical order. So if you have questions, please see me, but it's pretty self-explanatory. On Opposing Viewpoints, the citations are already in MLA format. You just need to put them all together in alphabetical order and double space them. In addition, if you used a different source, you can use the bibliography information and resource on the NoodleTools page. Good luck, and make sure you get those Works Cited pages to me by Monday. Thanks.